If you did a good job with your champion, they're gonna say, hey, we should show this to Dave and Mary and Emma and Dutch and Karen. Awesome, great, except that is a huge risk. Big group demos are where most B2B deals go to die, and if you've ever gotten on a Zoom to show a demo to 6 people who don't even know why they're there in the first place and gotten crickets anytime you tried to get those people to talk, you know what I mean. And so in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly what top performing reps do before their group demos to guarantee engagement, and then the contrarian multi-threading approach that they do after the demo to keep the deal moving. Let's dive into this thing. So let's start with the play that you should be running before the demo. For group demos, you're almost always going to be demoing to people that you've never actually spoken to before, because if you did a good job with your champion, they're gonna say, hey, we should show this to Dave and Mary and Emma and Dutch and Karen. Awesome, great, except that is a huge risk for you to get into the room with all of those people and start demoing to them for the first time because you've literally never met them before. It's also kind of awkward for people because you're like trying to get people to speak up in this group setting and you don't really know them at all. And so this one might be a shocker, but what the best reps do before a group demo is they literally call, ring ring, every single person on the attendee list before the demo, and they try to have a live one-to-one conversation with each person. So what you're gonna do is get the full attendee list from your champion or just look at the calendar invite and see who's on it, and then call everybody and say something like, hey Mary, I see that Mark invited you to our demo on Friday, and I'm trying to build out our agenda for the session. I know Mark cared about seeing our analytics dashboards. I assume, given that you're the director of IT, you might care about some of our integrations, but I wanted to see before we actually get in the big group meeting, was there anything that you really wanted to make sure we cover in our time together? Now you have an opportunity to actually have a back and forth conversation and do some mini discovery with that person. Now, obviously, if they don't pick up, you're gonna leave a voicemail and you're gonna say basically what I just said earlier and send an email saying pretty much the same thing. But most people, in my experience, actually are like, you know what, I would love to talk with you before the demo. And so now you start to build a mini relationship with not just your champion, but every single person who's actually gonna be in that big group meeting and is on the buying committee. The other benefit of this is like you're able to have so much more in-depth of a conversation when you set up these one-to-one side conversations than if you try to do it in the big group setting. If you think about like trying to do discovery with a group of 6 people, 4 or 5 of whom you've never met before, there's 2 problems. Problem 1 is like the clock is ticking and they came there to see a demo, not watch you do discovery one by one with the group. The other thing is those folks are encumbered by the bystander effect, where they're like, okay, we've got 6 people, Nick's asking these like pain-oriented questions, I'm sure Mark will speak up, or I'm sure Emma will speak up. And that's part of the reason that you get crickets is you've never met these people before. You're trying to do discovery in a time-compressed environment. You're also like pulling the rug out from under them where it was supposed to be a demo and you're trying to do discovery in the demo. So separate the two, have those one-to-one conversations in advance, and then when you show up, it's like, hey Dave, good to see you again. Hey Mary, how you been? Cool, here's what everyone wanted to see covered, let's dive in. And you will find that your big group demos run so much more smoothly when you do the work in advance. So now, assuming that you did that first part well, your demo should have been at least not a total train wreck. Now, what you do after this sort of contrarian thing can actually start to turbocharge the momentum in your behavior. So there's a 2-step follow-up that you're gonna take. What's going on, folks? There are literally only 2 things that you need to nail as a salesperson if you wanna make it to President's Club. The first is your ability to fill your calendar up with meetings and create new pipeline, AKA prospecting. The other thing you have to nail is your ability to drive those deals to close. And since you've made it this far in the video, I've got a gift to help you do both of those things. If you use the code YouTube at 30mpc.com/courses, you'll actually get $50 off our 2 best courses to help you nail both the creation of pipeline and the closing of pipeline. The first course is called Cold Calls to President's Club. And in that course, we teach you what to do, what to say, and how to sound in every single part of a cold call, from your call opener to how you pitch, to how you overcome objections, to voicemails and gatekeepers and more. The second course is our discovery course, which is focused on how to sell in a way that doesn't feel like selling. And in that course, we teach you how to uncover massive 6- and 7-figure business problems that companies actually want to pay to solve. And we'll teach you the way to structure your calls. We'll teach you the questions to ask. We'll teach you how to get to the decision maker and drive timeline and make discovery something that you know how to do effortlessly. And again, if you go to 30mpc.com/courses or go to the link below and use that code YouTube, you'll get $50 off any of the courses. I will see you at President's Club. So step one, just like you did before the demo, calling each person to get their agenda items and do some discovery, you're going to do the same thing after. You're literally going to call one by one, immediately after the demo, the people who are in the room to get their feedback. And your goal here is to get the insider scoop and the real reactions from people while it is fresh in their mind. And so the talk track you could use is find their phone number, call them, and you're going to say, hey Dave, I know we literally just got off of that demo, but I wanted to call you while things were fresh in your mind. One, I'm curious how you felt things went. And then two, I'm curious, was there anything that we didn't cover that you were like, we really need to do a follow-up session on that? Your goal here now is to get that inside intel, the real reactions, and also you'll find that if you call each individual, you're gonna have folks that were like, man, I really love those analytics dashboards. I would love to go deeper on those. And now you can get into true multi-threading, where with Dave, you can do a deeper analytics demo. And with Mary, you can do an IT integrations conversation because that's really, really important to her. And now you're starting to work with multiple stakeholders, not just your champion or main point of contact, but you're working with the entire buying committee, selling in almost mini deal cycles with them. So call each person to do some more discovery, get the real reaction, set more meetings, and also figure out if there were any hot button issues that you might need to be careful about addressing in your recap email. So that brings us to step two, which is once you've gotten that inside intel, a huge mistake sellers make is they send one big recap email to everybody that was in the demo. Instead, what you're going to do is you're still going to send the big group recap email, but you are also going to follow up one-to-one with each stakeholder with a personalized recap email that is tailored to the things that you heard they cared about in that pre-demo call, the things that they said in the actual demo, and what you might have learned in the conversation that you had with them after the fact. Again, if you just send one big recap email to 6 people, folks are going to succumb to the bystander effect, and literally no one is going to respond to your big, meaty recap email. But if you send tailored one-to-one follow-ups, you're actually going to spark so much deeper conversation with people. And again, you're going to start to create more internal champions. Just like when you do that post-demo call, you will often find reasons to set more follow-up meetings with multiple people, which is literally the definition of multi-threading. And so to recap, pre-demo, you're going to do the work up front. You're going to call the attendees, you're going to get their agenda, you're going to do some mini discovery with them. You are not going to stumble into a full room having not talked to these folks before. And then after the demo, you're going to do the same thing. You're literally going to call your champion and the other key stakeholders, do some more discovery, and then instead of just sending a big group recap email, yes, you'll send that one, you will also send personalized one-to-one recaps to every single stakeholder that was there. These are ways that you can totally turbocharge your deal momentum and de-risk your big group demos to get an edge over your competitors. And so if you found this one helpful, hit subscribe. Every single week we share actionable, practical sales best practices, and let me know in the comments your #1 piece of demo advice. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.